Alright, so I'm not a huge theorist or anything. I don't think I've ever actually come up with any other theories before. Because, you know, I'm just not really, you know, this is just not really my thing. But I think I just made a groundbreaking fucking discovery. Like, I'm not even joking. I was like running around my house trying to get everything set up so I could record this. I actually made a demo, in quotations, of this video where it's just basically me screaming about this thing that I just came up with. Alright, so I don't really know how to pronounce this guy's name. It's Sagan Hawk, something like that. But I watch his Fnaf retrospectives all the time. I've seen the Fnaf 4 one probably 10 times before this. And, you know, in a part of that video, he shows one of Markiplier's streams whenever he's talking about the Fnaf 4 theories that everybody came up with. And the guy, I remember him saying, like the guy that Markiplier brought onto his stream, he talks about the box in Fnaf 4. And he's talking about, well, there's 2 locks, so that makes me think that 2 people have the key. And obviously we're like, oh, that's Henry and William. Obviously, Henry and William. You know, even I was like, oh, Henry and William, that's crazy. Every single time I'm like, yeah, Henry and William. But this time in particular, it struck me like a fucking lightning bolt. Like, I fucking shook. I know that Scott said that whatever in that box has changed over time. And that's out of his words. He said that whatever's in that box has changed over time. But I think, I don't really know what to think of it now, but I honestly think that that box, at least at one point, had to hold the fucking Pact. And what I mean by that is, Henry, this game this game takes place in the 80s, that's definite. That's agreed upon everybody, almost. And whoever doesn't agree with it, I don't know what you're doing. It very clearly is either the bite of 87 or 83. I honestly think that it's 83 because FNAF 2 takes place in 1987 canon, like confirmed, takes place in 1987. And the phone guy says he's gonna contact that old place, Fredbear's Family Diner. But honestly, that doesn't really matter. Because in the 80s, William was still doing his thing. He still was going around. He wasn't killed or caught yet. You know, by caught, I mean caught by the spirits. So he's still running. If it takes place in the early 80s, he's definitely still, like, 100% still working there. Like, the early 80s, I really think that he is still working there, because I do think that it is the early 80s based off of certain things. And so, him and William were still the owners of the place, right? And Henry kind of knew what William was doing. Not that he approved of it, but I think that William promised to do something for William, and so Henry promised, you know, that he wasn't gonna talk about the shady shit that was going on. Now, what I think is in the box is the promise that they made. The pact that Henry and William kept. They locked it away. I think that it's filled with, like, let's say physically filled. I think that what would be in there is, like, newspaper clippings of his missing children. I think that there would be things that, you know, William would, you know, do. But arguing that that could be wrong because FNAF 4 is in the mind of a child, let's say that box is in his mind, kind of like in Dr. Sleep, how the guy kept his fucked up shit in boxes in his head. Now, I could argue with that as well, because it's very clear, it's been made very clear that the crying child saw some really messed up shit while he was at Fredbear's. And he's fucking terrified of the place now. And arguably, if you say that, I can argue back. What if Henry and William kept him quiet? What if they told him? No, they kept him quiet, and that's kind of the box that's in his mind, holding whatever he saw them doing to the kids, and a box in his mind to be forgotten. Now, that was my theories on what's in the box. Now, keep in mind, I have not thought this out for like weeks. I just thought about this, like it hit me like I told you, it hit me like a lightning bolt. I just thought William and Henry's pact. So I probably got a few things messed up because I didn't think about it that long, but I'm actually pretty confident about it. And try to comment what you think in the comments, and correct me on anything that could be used as like a counter argument if you don't agree, or try to use other things to back up this theory if you think that it's, you know, do what you want with the theory, and don't be afraid to correct me if I'm wrong. I'll see you next time.